Hey, so a big trade happened today. Uh, but before I get into that, like the video below, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. Give me your thoughts on the deal, and if you agree with me, what do you think? But, so the Diamondbacks traded for Starling Marte from the Pittsburgh Pirates, and going back to the Pirates. So basically the whole deal is the Diamondbacks are getting Starling Marte and $1.5 million for Liover Figuera, Brennan Malone, and $250,000 in international spending money. So the international spending money, they're not actually giving them $250,000. It's just so the Pittsburgh Pirates can spend an extra $250,000 in for an international free agent. So it doesn't specify whether that's for this year or next year. It's this year ends in June for the international spending period. It ends in June. So, and teams are allowed to acquire for this year or next year. So, I'm not sure which year, what it's for, but either way, right off the bat, it seems like the Diamondbacks got a steal because they got Starling Marte and they gave up two good prospects, but not top prospects. And they also got Pittsburgh to give them $1.5 million in cash to help offset his salary, which, he's not making a ton of money. He's not like, I don't know, he's making $11.5 million this year. So basically, they're only paying him $10 million. So I don't know. Seems weird. But yeah, so just looking at his numbers a little, yeah, Starling, this is a guy who in 586 plate appearances last year, so almost a full season. He played 132 games. Usually a full season is like 155 games. That, with the off days, because they play 162 games, but that rarely happens anymore where a player plays every game. Usually guys get like a week's worth of games off, maybe less. There are 26 weeks. So you get 7 games off. And he hit 295, 342, 503. So he had 23 home runs. He steals bases. He stole 25 bases. So he's a career 287, 341, 452 hitter. He's not this year, unless 2018 and 2019 saw a spike in his home runs from the previous year and in 2016. So he's not a huge home run guy, but, between both, home runs and stolen bases, he's a good player. He's a really good player. going to be 31 this year, so he's not old. You can expect the same production pretty much. Maybe a little decline in the home runs because of if they go back to the regular ball, which I think they are. But yeah, so let's look at the Diamondbacks roster. So Marte is going to slot in center. In left field, they have David Peralta. In right, they have Cole Calhoun, who they also signed this offseason. So, they have at second base, they have breakout star Ketel Marte. They have Eduardo Escobar at third base. They have Christian Walker at first, who took over for the departed Paul Goldschmidt. Nick Ahmed's at shortstop, and Carson Kelly's at catcher. So, they got a steal. That's all I can say. Just to look at it again, Liover Vigera is a top 100 prospect, but, he's, I don't know. He's in low A ball, so he's not major league ready. That's kind of what I'd want from. I'd be looking at more prospects. For the center of a package, I'd want guys in the upper minors. But, listen, he could be really good. He actually, if you look at the scouting report on him, he could be a Starling Marte at his, if he reaches his full potential, that's probably around maybe a little better than Starling Marte, but so maybe like a 75% potential, which, is kind of unrealistic, but not so unrealistic, I guess. I don't know. But, yeah, so he has a potential 60 hit tool, 40 game power. This is on a 20 to 80 scale, so 50 is average. So he's plus hit, below average on game power, average raw power, 50 raw power, and his current speed is plus at 60, but the projections by scouts say that it's going to go down a tick, which usually happens as guys fill out, because he's only 19, so he's probably going to add a little weight on, maybe grow a little, and put on some muscle maybe. So, we'll see. But like I said, he's a good prospect, just not as the number one. But then again, Marte's he's going to be a free agent at the end of the year. Although actually they have a club option on him. So essentially they have him until after the 2021 season. Unless he's has a catastrophic injury or something. But I can't see them not picking it up. And then they got Brennan Malone, who he's the same. He's also in low A, and he's 19. He's a pitcher. So, I mean, he looks to be a pretty good pitcher. He's not in the top 100, but he looks to have average command, average changeup at his full potential, plus fastball, above average slider, above average curveball. If he hits everything, if he gets to all his to if he progresses to his full potential, that's what he is. I mean, sometimes these guys outperform are even better than what their grades are, and these grades can go up or down depending on how they progress through the minors. So, these guys, both of them are very good, but very good prospects, but they're more like second or third or, fourth pieces. They're not usually headliners for stars like Starling Marte. But, I mean, and the fact that they also gave up, the Diamondbacks gave the Pirates $250,000 in international bonus pool money, which could pay for the net. I think that's like what the Yankees signed Luis Severino for. They or Gary Sanchez. No, maybe not Gary Sanchez, but there are guys like a lot of the guys that sign international free agent deals at 16. A lot of the stars in the league that have done that have signed for relatively low amounts of money, as opposed to the guys signing for, millions of dollars, $3 or $4 million. A lot of times it's the guys that sign for $200,000. It's those guys who end up going on to big things, because after all, they are 16. So, usually it's very hard to tell if those guys are good. And a lot of times the best guys aren't really studs at 16. It's very rare for that to happen. It's very rare for a Bryce Harper, who was basically a stud when he was a sophomore in high school. So, those are my thoughts on the deal. It's an interesting one. But, I mean, the other thing is that this deal sort of sets a precedent for other trades now. So, what like I was saying, the Mookie Betts trade rumor that just got announced. It's kind of a weird asking price, I guess, or negotiation price, or whatever. But looking at what the Pirates got for Marte, who has, he's gonna technically, I don't know how you want to say it. His contract runs out at the end of the year, but he has an option. So you could say maybe Starling Marte is a little more valuable because you can control him longer. So maybe, I don't know. I mean, this is the things you have to think about when you're trying to trade for someone. You have to think about their contract. Whereas a Mookie Betts, he's sort of, he's a free agent at the end of the year, and he's basically said, I'm not signing an extension. So maybe that deal between the Pirates, the rumored deal between the Padres and the Red Sox is really just what he can get, what teams are offering. I don't know. But so those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think. Comment below, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and give me your thoughts. Just comment below. Give me your thoughts on the deal. And like I said, you know, yeah, so go to theunusefulidiots.com to find out all you need to know about the Unuseful Idiots, and yeah, all this stuff about how to support the channel and support everything is on there, and that's it. See you next time. Bye.